Perfect Talk is what it do. On this episode, you know we got to talk about that Tyre Nichols police brutality video. Stephen A. Smith comparing Beyonce and Rihanna for no damn reason. Drake's concert in Harlem. Alec Baldwin catching criminal charges. And that new podcast about Max B. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button, baby. Let's get it. What's good, y'all? It's your man, DJPLICCAPLAYBOY. Back in the building, man. And you know, I hate doing an episode without my dog, my partner, my guy. Keith, what's going on, brother?
What it is, my guy? What it do?
Happy to be here, man. Been running around. It's been a crazy week. Life is good though. I can't complain.
Yeah, you extra busy this week or something?
Yeah, just running around. You know what I mean? But it's not even just the busyness, man. It's just the kids just finds a new way to stress you out. Sometimes they just and you just gotta like really just hold on to your cool. It's like that book I'm still reading that book that Jason put us on to. Shout out our guy Jason.
The joint with the upstairs downstairs brain.
Yeah. And I notice every time I have some downstairs brain, I gotta be like, let me get back to my book, man, because I've been out here bugging out.
But that's funny though, because the book is actually like for you to understand the kids, but it sounds like you're using it to understand yourself.
A little bit more, to be honest with you, because like you will just find yourself just yelling and screaming for no damn reason. Like, I understand why moms are so mad all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it is crazy just thinking about back in the day, like how just through time, even before our time, like how people used to deal with kids and just deal with stress in general. But now that mental health is a thing, and now you understand that you have to protect the mental health of your kids because you're probably fucked up because of something your parents didn't know. Mm-hmm. Just our eagerness to make sure you understand stuff like that.
Yeah, no, 100%. And then, like you said, like being that awareness that we have to not like, because we understand our emotions a little bit, I guess more than I guess the other generations were allowed to. It's like, damn, you like. Sometimes you want to fly off the handle. You're like, all right, let me pull back a little bit before.
Well, the funny thing though, as abusive as our parents' generation was, right? Mm-hmm. Like they probably like, damn, I gotta ease up. My parents ruined me a little. Let me ease up. Right? I'm like, all right, bet, because my parents used to beat me in public, and that shit scarred me. So I'm gonna make sure I beat my kid behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? Or if I come beat them in school, I'll make sure I take them away from the classroom so their friends don't see, and then I beat them there in the hallway, and then bring them back to class.
let them hear the screams and surround sound.
But they parents probably was doing some biblical shit, so it's kind of like. So right. I could only imagine what we doing, what our kids are gonna say. Man, my pops is abusive, man. I did something wrong, and he try to talk me through the reasoning of everything. I was like, what?
Nigga, put me in timeout. Come on, man. What kind of shit is that?
I was sitting in a quiet room. I couldn't even use my electronic toys. I'm there with stuffed animals. Oh man.
No, it is you 100% right about that. Yeah, it's because everything's different now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like you said, we do have that appreciation and that we know what we're doing. We punish our kids with class, I guess, compared to other generations.
Yeah, changing times, man. I seen on a Daily Show a news story where some museum, instead they're not using the word mummy no more. They calling it mummified persons.
Because mummy's what, offensive?
Yeah, I think there's some kind of mummies association wrote tweeted now that they said it like a mummy is like denotes like a monster, whereas like a mummified person gives them back their humanity.
Mm-hmm. I mean, who was caping up for that movement?
I try not to dismiss shit. Like when people say some new shit, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But this one is like, man, I just can't get down with it. Maybe in 5 years I get canceled for saying this thing. Like, yeah, these mummies out here, damn, mummies can't drive.
Shit's a slur now. Now you're right though. Like, when I hear shit like that, I'm like, people got free time. People gotta they must have a good job. They must weekends off because damn, you got way too much to care about, bro.
Yeah, man.
Nah, but some on another note, switch things up, man. Some serious shit to talk about or care about was that video that dropped, man, in Memphis, man. 5 police officers were actually let go after suspect, someone they arrested, I guess, died in their custody, right? It was wondering why, what happened to him, why he was in the hospital, what kind of injuries he sustained. They wanted the video to drop, and finally yesterday when we're recording this, we saw, you know, what I mean, the video, and it was hard to watch at times, a brutal video. But we do understand like why the cops were not only, you know, what I mean, let go, but also charged, right?
Yeah, they were charged with murder. I think all of them, right?
Yeah. It's a tough video to watch. You know what I mean? It's super polarizing, but for anybody out there who doesn't know, it was a traffic stop in Memphis. 5 police officers, Chadius Beans, Demetrius Haley, Emmett Martin III, Desmond Mills Jr., and Justin Smith. They were all let go, and then, you know, subsequently arrested before the murder of Tyre Nichols, a gentleman who, a 29-year-old black man who was you know, pulled over, and just from the beginning of the video was just not treated, you know, with just regular human rights, you know what I mean, and that you would expect to receive in a traffic stop. And that's the weird thing with these videos. What preceded that, right? Like, we don't know. Like, it starts at a certain point. What was the conversation in that car before that officer hopped out with that intensity? You know what I mean? Or maybe it was a chase that we just don't know about. Who knows? But there was a level of aggression. You saw the video, right, Keith? You seen the raw and uncut one, right?
Yeah, I was skipping through it because I was trying not to like catch everything all at once. But yeah, I think I saw the gist of it. I saw the stop. I saw the initial fracas, and then I saw when he tried to you know, run for his life, and then I saw the second part with the second location where like probably the fatal beating happened.
Mm-hmm.
Or the most fatal part of the beating, let me say, because the whole thing was kind of fatal.
Yeah. From the jump, they were pretty violent with Tyre Nichols. They tased him, you know, like you said, in that first altercation that he had with the officers. A foot chase then followed. The video we saw, like it kind of cuts to another camera view, I guess, when they did catch up with him, from like a it's like a what is it? It's like a police camera pole. I think, you know, they have those located throughout the cities,
like CCTV, like a
mm-hmm.
surveillance in the streets. Yeah,
It was, but yeah, to your point, Nichols died 3 days later from his injuries, and just like I said, it was a pretty brutal beating. It was wild. He was pepper sprayed. They were pepper spraying each other. They were just letting their aggression just come out. You know what I mean? I'm not a cop. I'm not an officer. I don't, you know what I mean, and ever intend to be one. So I don't understand that feeling of why you would be that. You know what I mean? Like, why you would feel like, I never chased anybody. I never, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know the adrenaline rush that goes through somebody, and what your brain goes through to make you do something like that, because that's another level of brutality. And then it feels worse because it's black officers. They're all black officers, and the gentleman that passed away was black as well. So it's like, I don't know. Would you treat a white suspect with that same level of brutality? Or would you, you know what I mean, be nervous of consequences, I guess, in that situation?
well, I think both white and black officers would feel nervous about the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Although if it was a white suspect, it would,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They would skip the trial on these cats, but
firing squad.
Yeah, man. I think the whole thing though is just the lack of professionalism, right? And I'm stating it mildly. They just turned into animals. And you know what the funny thing is, the strange thing in this time that we live in is that when you look at it, all these like words like mob, animals, just anger, and all the stuff that we society try to curb in white people characterizing black people like that. I think this is one of those times where a group of black people kind of earned those types of words. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything you saw about it was just mobbed up, ganged up, thugged up. Like, it's like how the dictionary intended it for me. Whereas usually people just say, "Oh, there goes a black dude," you know, maybe his pants is slightly below his waistline or whatever. Oh, that's a thug. No, this is actually, they were wearing uniforms, and they, you know what I'm saying, they were still thugs. So like,
what's that Tupac line? The realest gang is the LAPD.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
The MPD, yeah, man. Like, cause just that mob mentality, like, they just went crazy on a dude. It's all like five police officers, and then from what I understand, there's like 2 like EMS fire department guys like on the sideline or something like that didn't do nothing.
Oh, really?
I don't know if they're gonna. That's what the police chief said when she was on CNN, the Memphis police chief.
Yeah.
But I don't think much is clear on that yet. I guess we'll find out later. But those 5 cops, like all of them went berserk. All of them. You like even you would you would think that, oh, 5 officers involved in like a savage beating. Oh, those 1 or 2 guys on the sideline, they were really irresponsible. Now, like everyone was like in it, which was crazy to me. Usually it's like, not usually as if I'm some kind of cop expert, but you would think that like it'd be 1 or 2 who's kind of like loose cannons. They're not as professional, and the other 3 are like, well, thin blue line, that type of thing.
Chill out, bro. We just seen the George Floyd. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like we
right,
gotta,
right.
we gotta at least try to stop you. You know what I'm
saying?
Right,
right.
Yeah.
And not one just say, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like I think I could understand the logic of someone just straight up not going all the way the furthest that they can and trying to stop this thing. I'm not sure. I'm not saying that I agree with that, understand, but for all 5 to straight up like active participants, that joint was crazy.
Yeah. To your point, it takes an outstanding level of courageousness to stand up in that situation, which I don't think everybody has. I can't even tell you if I had. I couldn't tell you unless I'm in that situation.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But it's the opposite though. Like, there's one thing to stand by, be like, damn, man, I should do something, but I'm not. Versus, I'm gonna go hold the dude. I'm gonna pump my dude up. And all of them dudes were just wilding. Like, not just there's the absence of like that courageousness, what you're talking about, but then there's the other way around. It's just like you just straight savage.
Yeah, they turn to their lower self.
Exactly. I mean? They 5 people. I found it hard to believe, man, when I like heard the story. I'm like, oh, at least 2 of them had to be. I'm sure all of them weren't it. Like, if you're there, you're in on it, by the law and ethically. But I'm talking about like
active participants.
Exactly. Yeah. And all 5 of them were, and just the lack of professionalism was crazy. And I think this was supposed to be like some elite squad, but they were just some clowns, man.
The Scorpion unit, some type of controversial unit out there. It's a messy situation, man, and thoughts and prayers definitely with the family. Because I know this video doesn't give them peace or closure.
Yeah.
If anything, it might upset them even more. And our thoughts are definitely with you, because it's a tragic situation, and it's something that, as desensitized as we are to violence, right? We've seen this since Rodney King, maybe even before. You know what I mean? It still hits. You know what I mean? Differently even from the shooting ones, right? Like the shooting ones is like bang, bang, bang. You know what I mean? Running, everybody running. You just, you know what I mean? It doesn't make it less brutal, but it kind of does, because it's like, yo, y'all beat them with your hands. Like,
from a bystander, I think I don't know about you, but I don't have a lot of experience with guns, and definitely no experience with the victim of a gunshot. I worked in a hospital, but I didn't work in a type that had gunshot wounds. And when you see a gunshot, it's not like the movies where blood splashes everywhere. It's just the bullet hits, but you can't see a bullet hitting a person on like the grainy video.
Yeah.
And then the person falls, and it's graphic and very like unsettling. But like when you see somebody get beat, we understand what that, like, we understand, and it's like prolonged and dragged out.
Yeah, the suffering, crying for your mom, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
But gotta switch things up, man. Keith, we haven't spoken in a couple of weeks, so you want to go to one of these new segments we got here. It's called Catching Up with Keith. A couple of weeks ago, Keith, we spoke about a 6-year-old who shot his teacher in a Virginia school, man. It's crazy. That not even to go here, but it's just like, I guess there's like, there was 2 shootings in California that I didn't even know it was 2. I thought it was the same shooting. Like, the gun violence is getting so crazy nowadays. Like that, like I just said the words, a 6-year-old shot his teacher, and it's just like, what are you talking about? Like, it's insane. It's just getting crazier and crazier. But I think what makes this situation with the 6-year-old in that Virginia school even worse, because it seems like there were warnings, several warnings. Not maybe even before that day, but definitely that day, there was about 3 to 4 different times that this kid probably should have been taken out the class. One thing I've looked into, like, I know the teacher, her name is Abigail Zwerner. I believe she may be even suing the school system in that area.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I understand why, because she even sent a text to somebody, just how frustrated, how like just the lack of just help that she's getting. that day. You know what I mean? Like, why is nobody coming to help it? Why are they downplaying it? Why are they too busy? You know what I mean? And I've heard that same sentiment from my kid's teacher, going to, parent teacher. Like, they feel frustrated sometimes about how maybe the bad kids are not removed. You know what I mean? And now they're causing everything harder on the kids who actually do want to learn or understand exactly, have the social skills to understand what they're there for.
Right.
And in this situation, it seems like that the boy not only made comments to the teacher in the past, but on that day threatened to beat up a classmate. A second teacher felt that necessary to search this kid's backpack. I'm assuming they found nothing. So the gun may have been hidden. It seems like the kid told another classmate about the gun and told him that he'll shoot him if he tells anybody. That kid had more courageousness than anybody that was there in the previous story we just talked about, because he actually went up to the teacher and said, "Yo, Johnny bugging." You know what I'm saying? And then a fourth administrator asked permission to search the kid and was denied, allegedly because they were told to wait because the school day was almost over.
Right.
Which is, now I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not holier than thou. I've had jobs before. I want the day to end too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And trust me, I can't imagine. I have the utmost respect of school bus drivers, after school, and teachers, regular school teachers, because it's like, y'all dealing with something I can't do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? One's a lot. You know what I mean? So I got a certain level of respect for y'all. You know what I mean? I get my kids' teachers, like, for Christmas, you know what I'm saying? Here, a little Starbucks card, you know what I'm saying? It gets under the bus driver, like, thank you for getting my kid safely, because I know it's crazy. I know it's got to be crazy with all them kids, man. And it's just like, this teacher is trying, man. The warnings were there. Like, this is like, you know how stupid they probably felt when they probably heard gunshots, that they didn't do nothing that day because so many people was involved and knew it and said something. And it's like, I heard something crazy to the fact, not crazy. But I heard something like the kid was obviously a student that had needs. You know what I'm saying? His parent had
special
to be there.
needs, or it didn't rise to the level.
I think
of
behavioral.
I think
behavioral, like, issues, and his parent had to sit in the class with him. And it was up until that week that the incident happened that the parent used to have to come to the class every day with the kid. So you know what I mean, that's a sign, obviously, that there's a special level of attention is needed here, and this isn't a regular situation. But it seems like a lot of red flags were ignored in this one.
Yeah, I can't stop thinking about that thing you said as far as like teachers, like, damn, like some kids need to like a level of attention that my classroom's not equipped for. I know around the country, like there's this thing that we're wrestling with, like, is like special ed class is like the way to go. Like, you just put a certain set of kids in a special ed class. It's like that's where they would be, and people are thinking that you should reintegrate them back with the rest of the student population. Then like stories like this, it just sounds like the teacher, she just couldn't, like, that wasn't her forte. And when you think about a parent coming in the class, that's not the parent's forte either. I mean, maybe, the parent could keep the kid in line. If the kids start wilding out, the parent could take them out or just go home with them, or whatever the protocol is. But all in all, man, that kid wasn't taken care of.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't, nothing was right. I mean, even the other kid reporting the gun, like, folks just wasn't ready.
Yeah.
I think just nowadays, like, I think there's just so many protocol that has to change, that the thing is that times are changing so fast and in such a unique way that no one knows what that is that has to change. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you know? Like, yeah, I know something has to change, but what has to change? You think about safety. A lot of this school shooting stuff, people think about, oh, well, somebody from outside comes in and tries to attack kids, like a teenager or whatever. I don't think anyone imagined this, even with the reporting. Like, it's probably so far out of their mind. They're like, we don't, what am I supposed to do with this? You know what I'm saying?
So there's no precedent. Like, I would have doubted when did you hear about a 6-year-old? Can you, like, when hearing the story, like, a 6-year-old can shoot a gun? Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah, I understand why they probably felt like their level of just proactiveness probably wasn't there, because they're like, that's not gonna happen. That shit happened. Now motherfuckers losing jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have to get, you know what I mean, that lawsuit, you know what I mean? Shorties between surgeries, like, that shit's still in her, they said, you know what I mean? Like, they like, that's crazy. Like, it's, she texted somebody just out of frustration that day. You know what I mean? She was just frustrated, like I said, that nobody was coming. Like that's even worse. Like now you got like she literally was to the level of I gotta talk to somebody like about how mad I am and how this next level this is. Like, yo, don't that just goes to show you don't ignore warnings.
Yeah.
Like it's they there, man, for a reason. Like so. Thoughts and prayers there, man. Catching up with Keith, man. Did you hear about your man Usain Bolt, man, the fastest man in the world? Lost $12 million in a financial scam.
Wow. What the hell? He's a crypto or something?
No. There was a company in Jamaica called the private investment firm Stocks and Securities Limited. They had a former employee basically pull like a fraud on a lot of their clients. He woke up one morning to only $12,000 instead of his 12.7 million. And realized that he was part of just fell victim to a scam. He wasn't the only one. About 30 other people, were 29 other people were involved as well. And this former employee definitely took advantage of just their trust in this company.
That's crazy.
Yeah, planning to keep that as a pension for his family, his parents, and yeah, said he never touched it, never took any money out of it, hadn't withdrawn or transferred any money since opening in 2012. Just it's sad to hear shit like that, bro.
Yeah, where's my money, man? They gotta walk a man down on some shit like that, man. But any indication on like what's the punishment, or did they catch the
Yeah,
dude?
it looks like I seen a video. It looks like I think they ran up on the person that was doing it. I don't know if they're gonna get the money back. He threatened to take legal action, but you know, things like money is if the money's gone, the money's gone. Yeah. The person usually faces legal action, and so, yeah, that hurts when you hear about shit like that because you imagine that at that level you're at the highest level of financial, protection and security, and just to find out that you're not because of somebody that you trusted for that amount of time too since 2012, you ain't had no issues. You know what I mean? You like, damn.
always feel weird about when the like the business I'm going to, like the name of the business is just what you do. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of not like Johnson,
no name attached.
Yeah, it's just like Stocks and Securities Limited. I'm like, oh man, should I enjoy it? It's like eating cereal that's just a white box that just says cereal on it. Like it's like some shit like that. Like Stocks and Securities Limited. Should have went with like Goldman Sachs or some shit like that. You're not quite sure what they do, but it's like they'll hold me down.
Got someone to blame.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, so and it just really goes to show you that you always got to be on top of your financials too. You know what I mean? Because
so many people get scammed. Really rich people too. Like they go to somebody they trust, and I guess it's so much money that they're like, yo, I don't have experience like handling all this money, so let me trust this entity, this accountant, financial, whatever. And then a lot of those dudes end up scamming the person, and a lot of times they can't get that money back.
Yeah, I mean, think about it too. To make that level of money, right? Like large level millions of dollars, you're probably good at something. Yeah, you probably were very good to get to that point to where you can, you know what I mean, like earn that type of money. So it's just like you don't have time, because you're focused on your craft.
Right, probably. Right.
So you're like, yeah, I'm trusting homie. You know what I mean? That's what he do. He do money.
Yeah,
and you know what I mean. But you got to have lawyers watching lawyers, so you don't go broke, right? That's what that's what your man Biggie said, you know what I mean? So you know what I mean? Relax and take notes. Keith, catching up with Keith, man. Last one. Are you familiar with your man Richard Barnett? You remember him?
Nah.
Who's that? Remember the January 6th, you know what I'm saying? There was a couple famous people there, right? There was the QAnon shaman, you know what I mean, dressed like a Viking, you know, he famous a little bit. There was the two black people. You know what I mean? There was who invited y'all.
Yeah.
And then and you probably remember Richard Barnett. That's the guy with his feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk.
That dude.
Yeah. Richard Barnett was living the dream. He was famous, doing interviews afterwards. He got convicted. got caught up there, man. Yeah, it happens. I always feel very. You feel bad for the people that thought they was looking cool in the moment, and then they that cool moment comes back to haunt them.
Yeah, it would be like if we saw when we were teenagers. That's the thing; these people ain't teenagers, but we see teenagers. We see a crowd going somewhere, and you see a couple friends in there. You're like, oh shit, let me see what's going on there. There's somebody getting jumped. I'm not gonna participate, but I want to see. And I I have a good feeling, having had that impulse, that there are some people in that crowd who just wanted to see what was going on.
Yeah, well, true, but
Yeah.
I think at some point we'd have been like, hold on.
Yeah, well, right. When they started beating cops and breaking
Whose
the
crib is
Capitol building. You got to not know the building. But yeah, unless somebody swindled you, like, yeah, we just go to somebody, the office building up the street. Oh, okay, cool. I roll, whatever. There's a hot dog stand over there, right? Yeah, that's right. Okay. Then you go like, wait, whoa.
You
What are
sure
you
they
doing with
got
that?
weed in here? Is this where you go?
What are you doing with that flagpole, man? Oh, no.
Yo, that the nutty part, bro, of everything is like they was beating niggas up.
Yeah.
That was a full-on fight. That was a war, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Shout out to them officers, bro. And
people were scared for their life. People died.
Yeah.
People died, man. So I didn't know the name. However, I did hear that story. I think one of his excuses was that he was trying to find the bathroom. I'm dead serious.
I think one of his excuses is he's a drug addict.
I don't know if they brought the excuse to court, but I read that somewhere that he's like, yeah, no, what I wasn't doing. I think I was just trying to hit the head, and and then end up with a photo with his feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk.
His lawyer looked at him like Mike Myers, like,
what are you doing?
Why would you say that? Nah, my man did an interview afterwards. He said he left a recorder on Nancy Pelosi's desk and she's not even worth it, and then called her a sexist slur, which I'm assuming is bitch. Like, that's crazy. Man, it said he wasn't part of the protest. To your point, Keith, he described himself as more of a hyper. Yeah, bro, you hype some shit that got people killed, man. Like, fuck out of here.
It's sad, man, because a lot of people thought that was the right thing to do. I mean, just going back to that whole teenage thing that I brought up, to be that impressionable. All right, you're impressionable. So much fault goes on these people who did that, but then also some of these politicians and celebrities who fight, getting them people amped up, knowing that for the most part, a lot of stuff won't blow back on whoever's hyping you up, like, freedom of speech and all this stuff. But those people who trust you enough to say, all right, yeah, I'm going to go and fuck with the federal government. And now they got to pay the cost. And, a lot of those celebrities ain't backing them.
Yeah. I mean, there's a whole industry built around riling those people up. And to your point, it's very educated people riling up people that aren't as educated as them, and are probably more likely to be emotionally driven by the things they get upset about. Whereas these people might not even really give a fuck about these issues they're reporting on. They just know it's profitable and what moves the algorithm.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, right, we live in a country where the allure and the pedestal that we put politics on in the past was like this unrealistic thing that human beings can live up to. They're all fucked up. They're all human beings and flawed in some way, shape, or form, but they had to give out this image of perfection, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, my children are all heterosexual. You know what I'm saying? My wife has nenever done anything slutty in her past. You know what I'm saying? It's just like everything about had to be perfect, and we know it's not. You know what I mean? So it's just a nutty situation. But we're gonna move on, man. My favorite segment, Keith, it's called Have You Heard? I hear headlines and I bring them to the table, man, to see if my guy Keith has heard. Keith, first up, Stephen A. Smith. He had to smoke for Rihanna. You hear about this?
He smoked for Rihanna?
No, he had that smoke for Rihanna.
Oh,
he was on
Stephen A. Smith. What did he say?
You hear about this? Stephen A. Smith was on the Sherry Shepherd show. Do you know why Stephen A. Smith was doing a press tour this week? Nah, right?
He has a book.
Yeah, okay. So you know about the book, yep. And so he was on Sherry Shepherd show to promote the new book, right? And when you know you walking in somewhere that, like, the crowd, you like, I think I know the crowd, but I'm gonna let them know I know them. I'm gonna drop a little gem to let them know I'm down. And so I'm walking into I think a predominantly Black woman room, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna drop some gems. I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna throw the rock up, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna represent for who I think is in the building. So Sherry asks about, Rihanna. She's like, I know who will be at the Super Bowl, Rihanna. Stephen A. said, let me hit him with a good one. He makes that Stephen A. face. He says, I like Rihanna, but she ain't no Beyonce.
And I think he thought the crowd was gonna be like, okay, Beehive in the building. You know what I mean? Stand up.
Yeah.
They was not with this shit. They was like, where'd that come from?
Where did it come from? What in the world?
Nobody asking, and then he doubled down on it. And he was like, there's levels to this. You know what I'm saying? And like, I was like, and Sherry tried to walk, you know, when somebody try to help you out of it, Sherry like, no, we don't need to compare. And she's like, you know what I'm saying? We don't need to pit black women against black women. He's like, I just did it because Beyonce performed at the Super Bowl before. And he doubled down on it, right? And then
I
think he caught the backlash and he had to drop an apology straight to Rihanna.
I mean, I think the sad part, off mic, we talked a little bit about like that Stephen A. Smith culture of sports commentating. I think he's just caught up in the character. It reminds me of how Stephen Colbert was the character on that Comedy Central show.
Yeah.
I think Stephen A. Smith now is like is just this character. And he got on the show and he's like, I'm Stephen A. Smith. Let's start a debate. And nobody was debating with him. So it's like, if you could imagine them copying and pasting that shit onto something else and putting a little chyron on the bottom, who's better, Beyonce or Rihanna? Like one of them shits they do on First Take, like you could imagine that shit. So I think it feels like that's what happened. But I didn't hear about that shit. That shit is crazy.
Yeah. Now Sherry tried to give him some pushback. He's like, "What you say, Molly?" Like, oh shit, I forgot what I was saying. He thought, to your point, he thought they was about to be going maybe, or they was gonna double down on what he was saying, and they was not with it. And it's like corny, bro. Like that's unnecessary. We don't got to pit black women against black women. You know what I mean? Like that was unnecessary. Yeah, you could have picked any other Super Bowl performer. She ain't Prince.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. That would have made more sense. Did Michael Jackson do a Super Bowl? I think.
I was just about to ask you.
I know Prince definitely did.
It feels like he did, man. But the thing is that Michael Jackson, like his normal performances just look like Super Bowl shit. So in our head, because I'm about to say, yeah, Michael Jackson did that shit, but in my head, I'm not sure if that was the Super Bowl. It might have just been some
I don't know why a million people were in the crowd that day, but it was
and dudes in football uniforms, and it may not have been a football game. That's Michael Jackson.
Yo, if you was born after 1990s, like 5, go look at the Michael Jackson footage of some of his concerts. That shit look crazy. It don't even look fun. You just see people get pulled out of crowds.
Which Mike? White Mike or?
He was White Mike, right? He was White Mike, but he was new White Mike. And so he was just staying on stage for like 20 minutes and the crowd would just go crazy. And then you just see people getting passed out like yo, this motherfucker dying. You know what I'm saying? Like,
crowd surfing the dying dude to the ambulance and shit, like crazy shit. Because White Mike was rock star, legendary shit. But Black adult Mike was talent. The whole package is straight up talent. Like you could put there's probably a music video, he's just dancing on a lit background, like that's it. Like there's no cast or there's no set pieces, it's just him with like disco lights all around. He's just murdering it with a bow tie on. But White Mike is rock star shit.
He's just standing on stage. He like, yo, is he gonna move? Is he gonna he just do one thing? Like,
yo, he would do that shoe thing where he kind of like turns his knee outward, like, and just make his heel hit the floor a couple times. That's it. Nothing else. That's it. Just a black stage with a spotlight, and people will go crazy.
Nice, bro.
Mad heart attacks.
It did not look fun. I was like, I don't want to go there.
But that White Mike was, people. It's fun. I mean, we were probably too young to go to like a concert like that, but imagine if that was now. You'd be like, damn, I really wish I could go to a White Mike concert.
Just to see it, right? You say you was there.
You say you was there, man.
I think Rihanna gonna have a good performance, man. I wish her the best, you know what I'm saying? Keith, have you
one last thing on Rihanna. I trust that her show is gonna be bananas. It's gonna be dope because she hasn't been out in so long.
The comeback.
Yeah, the comeback. Super Bowl comeback. Oh man, she's
gonna come
trust
correct.
Me, man. She gonna come correct.
Keith, have you heard the story? It's kind of slightly related. It involves our girl Beyonce. Beyonce got paid, I believe, $24 million to perform in Dubai.
Wow, I didn't hear about that shit.
You hear about it? It was $24 million. She performed for like an hour, dog. It was the opening of Dubai's latest luxury hotel, Atlantis the Royal.
I'll be honest, I have not heard that, but I'm not that surprised, man. That's like you telling me, oh, well, I heard the homie, I don't know, fucking Wiz Khalifa got 500,000 to perform for 30 minutes or something. Like Dubai plus Beyonce, man, you know it's gonna be
Big
8
numbers.
digits. Yeah, man. I'm not surprised.
Well, when you get a chance, check out some of the footage. I heard there's like some crazy shit. Like the set was ridiculous. They had her like hundreds of feet in the air singing, like going hard. Like, you know, and she don't lip sync. She really up there singing. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, no,
that's crazy.
Because they got the money, like you said.
yeah. Because yo, Dubai is different, man. They built like it's the desert out there, and they built shit that's like not they built shit that's not the desert. They built an entire ecosystem. Like literally, they just say, yo, you know what? It's the desert. Fuck it. Boom, snow. Y'all niggas can go skiing in the middle of fucking the United Arab Emirates. Yo, it's crazy.
Shit. No, but that wasn't the story. I like how you like to shit on my story for a second. He's like, yeah, I'm not surprised. 24 million. Like Wiz Khalifa making 500. Like, that's not the story, dog. Have you heard that she's actually coming under fire from the LGBTQ community? Because they like, Dubai, consensual same-sex male sex is punishable up to 10 years in prison, B. Can I go off on them? Can I represent the Beehive for a second? Can I represent? Yeah. I'm gonna talk to straight to. Is it this camera right here? Yeah. Yo, how y'all gonna come at? Didn't they just have the fucking World Cup in Qatar? Like, how y'all gonna get mad at Beyonce for going to get the bag and you because of what the country like? That is nuts. Y'all just got nothing to be mad about. What are y'all? What? And I know this ain't the whole LGBTQ community. Obviously, it's you know what I mean. Some people are upset by it. Everybody is guilty of something. You complained on an iPhone. You wearing Nikes. Do your research on how them shits is made. Like, everybody's guilty of something. You know what I mean? Like, they come from countries that ain't doing great shit. You know what I'm saying, to them workers. Yeah. So it's just like, we can't sit here and point the finger at, dude. Yo, I got a gig business partner. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? The music I played in 2002 was not LGBTQ friendly. You know what I'm saying? And that shit slap. I still log on. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta do it in the privacy of my crib. You know what I'm saying? You can't
listen to Jay-Z shit pre-2010. That shit was definitely not LGBT friendly.
Yo, I'm gonna throw Keith under the bus. Keith was around this same business partner. And one day, I had this like profound love for this DMX lyric that he wanted to tell us about, and it was the most LGBTQ unfriendly homoerotic DMX lyrics I ever heard.
But I was making a point of how this is probably like 5 years ago, or 3 years ago. I can't remember the number.
5 years ago.
5 years ago. I'm making a point of just reflecting on that lyric. I'm like, yo, this dude DMX is bugged, man. Like,
I'm like,
it was normal at the time.
Hard, but you're right, to your point. We can't judge them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell my girl all the time, if I notice something you're doing wrong, it's because my eyes point out. I'm not looking at me. Guess what? I got my own flaws. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, tell me what was wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? So I say that, how you pointing the finger at me? What? Because of what? Because the country she went to get the bag? That's crazy. Like, we all guilty. Y'all gotta chill. That's nutty, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't mad. Like, you just finding something to be mad at Beyonce about. Like, leave Rihanna alone, leave Beyonce alone, leave our black queens alone, because y'all coming for the crowns for no reason.
Yeah, man, I didn't see that one coming. It wasn't like a government funded thing. It was like the casino or whatever this was. The hotel, I mean.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nah, man. Somebody I seen a comment. Sorry, babe, love you and all, but Dubai ain't it. It's not like you need the money. You just made a pretty effing gay album, and you repay your LGBT fans by performing in a city that outlaws our existence. Not cute at Beyonce. Another one said, playing for Dubai who criminalizes being gay. You are a bad person for that. You take money from people who hate gay people. It's like ridiculous, y'all. Come on, man. Why don't
you? Like somebody performing like that's like somebody performing in Tennessee or one of them states that ain't into the, like, you know,
abortion or something.
Abortion, yeah.
You hate women now. Like, what are y'all talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, man. But shout out, you know what I mean, the part of the story, like, you know, she got the bag, like I said, for an hour. Shout out to B for getting that, man. She going hard in the paint. Keith, have you heard? Donald Trump got his Facebook back, dog.
I did hear that. Yeah, I did hear that. Happen? I didn't, but his from what I understand, his campaign, like people in his campaign was like campaigning to get him back on social media, on mainstream social media, because it's tough to fundraise and to reach out to new people if you're not on Twitter, Facebook, like the mainstream shit.
A Donald Trump tweet has to be like Super Bowl levels of reach.
Yeah.
Like that's, yeah, you know what I mean? But at its prime, I can't imagine that, you know what I'm saying? So that's like free Super Bowl commercials for them. Like, so that yeah, the value of that is huge.
Exactly, yeah. So, you know, they Donald Trump was probably like, yeah, fuck that, man. Let's, you know, do our own thing. But they're like, yo, man, you making my job impossible. Like, I can't promote your shit if you're not, you know, I can't do that shit on Truth Social or have you putting out these statements in Times New Roman font to the media. Like, you need to tweet shit and put shit on Facebook.
We're also on Truth Social. You already got their vote.
Right.
Exactly. Like, we got them already, dog. What we doing?
Exactly. You need voters. You need numbers.
But yeah, he has 34 million followers on Facebook, 23 on Instagram, and Meta runs both platforms. In November, his Twitter account was restored. So it looks like they said that this is going to help him, you know, get that boost that he might need to be a contender in that upcoming 2024 election. Keith, have you heard? Alec Baldwin, criminal charges for the shooting of what's her name again? Helena Hutchins, excuse me, on the New Mexico set of the movie Rust. Did you think that Alec Baldwin was gonna catch criminal charges?
I honestly didn't think he would. That's interesting, man. I don't think I understand enough about the law, and maybe I don't understand enough about the situation to understand how that happened. I mean,
I was hoping you could break it down, because I was like, I know he's a producer, right, on the movie as well. So I think they're trying to find him with negligence. And he's trying to like say that was the armorer, right? That shouldn't have been a gun there, shouldn't have been a loaded gun. But I guess because he not only hired that person as, you know, producer in name, but, you know what I mean, as a producer on the film, and then also was the person that pulled the trigger, I guess they figured they can't charge without having him involved. I don't think he'll do prison time. But I think, I think it'll help them at least set up a civil case for the family to probably get some type of lawsuit out of it for their damages.
A lot of that matters. I think that if this wasn't so high profile, they might not have charged or maybe started off with a misdemeanor. I think somebody already pleaded down to a misdemeanor. So
I think there was 3 people involved, and these are the other 2, the armorer and Alec. To your point, he probably would have even settled it, but because from the jump it seemed like there might be criminal implications. I think that's why he did that little crazy interview where he's like, I didn't pull the trigger. I was like, what? Hold on, dog.
His lawyer is probably, I would imagine that he has like a lawyer who is on retainers, maybe not a criminal lawyer, but says, this doesn't, you know, this doesn't, something right, you might want to get you a criminal lawyer. So he probably, I can't imagine that a lawyer
can't admit to that in an ABC interview.
Exactly.
And say my bad, you know what I mean? As silly as it sounds. Keith, before we get up out of here, because I know we tight on time, man. Drake, have you heard? Drake performed at the star-studded event at the iconic New York venue, the Apollo.
Nah, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, and he brought out Dipset.
Word? You got to do that, man. That's a good move right there, man. That's the royalty out there.
Yeah, I heard it was a really cool concert because, you know, the Apollo's a smaller venue. Than where Drake would normally perform.
That's dope.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I did see a viral video of some dude falling from the balcony. That was just getting a little too lit. But I mean, beyond that, I heard there were a ton of celebrities in the house. Like Justin Bieber was there. Like, you know what I mean? His Canada homie. Little Uzi Vert came out on stage, performed. Like I said, he brought out Dipset. He wore Cameron's mink. When he brought him out. You know what's crazy? Like, Dipset, even though they didn't, I think, reach their potential, they still one of the most successful groups in hip hop history.
Easily,
easily,
man. I mean, and just the effect on culture, like having random dudes in fucking Louisiana wearing mink, it's fucking 90 degrees outside. They're like, look at this mink, dog.
Drake brought out 21 Savage. They, you know what I mean, they did their thing. People were crazy when they heard that Rich Flex, that 21.
Started twerking and shit. Had thugs twerking 21. Let me do something for me.
That's just a banger though. When you hear that in the right place, because you know the words already.
Son, that shit is on my workout playlist, man. I'd be going hard. I'd be like, 21.
Do your thing, 20. Do your thing.
But them cartoons that people been making, man, that shit is hilarious.
Nah, what cartoon I seen? Put me on. What cartoon?
No, like the memes and shit where they like when they play the song and like Drake is, they have like a, you never seen them shits? Like the memes. So the memes is basically like you see them rapping and shit, but then Drake start twerking and shit. Like the whole joke is that Drake is like moist and 21's like the thug. You know what I'm saying? So like how the song go, it has that singing part 21 when you see him twerking one, and then 21 would be like ad-libbing and like 21 and like looking at him like strange, like, yo, what's this cat? 21. Oh, come on, man. Like, but
yo, you gotta send me that, bro. I
wish I could find one. I see multiple. It's like basic, like it looks like a cartoon somebody were making like an app or something where you get to so it's like super basic, but you just see the Drake face, and you just see his ass shaking up and down while he's saying 21 when you do something for me. And when you look at it, you can't unsee it. And the way Drake is singing, but if you haven't seen it, you know, the song is the song, but when you see it, it's like 21, would you do something? The song slow. Mentally, the song slows down. It's crazy.
Yeah, every time you hear the song, you think about it now.
Yeah, like 21, would you do something for me?
Yo, if I find it, I'm gonna insert it in the video out here on the YouTube. Make sure y'all check out the YouTube and that subscribe and that like button, man. Keith, man, we almost out of here, bro. I just want to show you one last thing. It's a segment I call Things I Seen on the Internet, man. You got to tell me what's going on here, bro. Let's see. What's going on in this picture, bro? What's going on here, man?
Yo, son, somebody about to stick up a candy factory. That's crazy.
For the audio fans out there, your man Kyle Kuzma rocking the green cardigan with a
green cardigan.
No, excuse me, my fault. My fault. A multicolored fishnet cardigan. He got the green corduroys on with that. You know what I mean? Look like some high tops with a ski mask, a multicolored ski mask. Yo, shout out Rick, man. Shout out Bookstore Rick. He said, yo, if he would have wore a white tee with it.
I was about to say that outfit. The outfit ain't tough, but the pieces of the outfit are extra tough. And I went on a ski trip and I had that mask he had on, like, but with normal shit on it, it'll be tough.
Word.
You know, that cardigan, if I wore that to a work trip with just normal ass pants and a button shirt, that shit would be tough. The pants, if I was going to fix somebody's heating and ventilation system, then pants would be tough. But it's just like everything all there at the same time. It ain't right.
The shirtless part, you know what I'm saying? Trying. But nah, shout out to Cool. I mean, he pulled it off confidently. Had a good game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, yeah, to your point though, yeah. Do you think this cardigan or the one that Shannon Sharp almost got in the fight in when he stepped up to Dylan Brooks and them?
Nah, this one for sure. But the Shannon Sharp shit, the Shannon Sharp shit was fun. That cardigan, I'll tell you why, man, because the cardigan will suggest to you could fuck with this dude. Everything else about Shannon Sharp will suggest no, you cannot actually. You just look at the picture, son. My man Pex is on some next level shit. If you look at Shannon Sharp, he's holding his iPhone, made that shit look like a goddamn toy. Like hands is still, you know, the lineman gloves, the thick ones, the thick shits. It looks like he has those on, but nah, that's really his hands, yo.
Everybody was like, yo, he wanted to smoke with everybody except Steven Adams. Steven Adams came off. He said, "No."
Exactly.
Would you say T. Moran? What
that's a very executive decision, man. That's business thinking. You be like, I can fuck him up. I can fuck him up. Nope, not fuck the dude from New Zealand. Not the dude who looked like he start for a rugby team, the New Zealand shit that be doing that pregame celebration.
Not
Jason him.
Momo.
Yeah. Yeah, man, not him.
Yo, Keith, that's another episode in the books, my brother, man. Where can my people find you at on social media?
Instagram, me and my _35.
Man, you can tell your people find me on social media on Instagram at PLICCAPEEZY, PLICCAPEEZY. Also find me on Twitter at DJPLICCAPLAYBOY. Follow Perfect Talk on Instagram at Perfect Talk Radio, right there on Instagram, baby. Also, check us out on Twitter. We got a new account called at Perfect Talkers. So check that out. Check out the website, perfecttalkpodcast.com. Every episode of Perfect Talk Podcast, my radio show, The Night Shift, Money Talks Radio, new episode dropping. So check out for that. Dropping this week. Check that out. Shout out to my guy, DJ Show. And you can also find every episode of Perfect Talk Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, iHeartRadio, more places to come. So just keep your eyes open and tell a friend. Please leave that review. Check us out on YouTube. Hit that subscribe, hit that like button. Let us know what you think. Leave a comment. Keith, I've been watching, I've been in the gym, right? And the crazy thing, I tweeted the other day, like they be showing FX in there, you know, the channel FX.
Yeah.
I see a lot of good movies, but I see them just in the middle while I'm on the treadmill. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna come back and watch this shit. I seen this shit the other day with John Cho. Of Harold and Kumar fame, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. He got like this modern day thriller where he's using social media to find his daughter who's missing. I think that's actually the name of the movie. I was like, I had to come back and watch this shit tough. I'm like not trying to look at FX and see the ending. Like, yeah. Don't fuck it up.
But you remember them? That was kind of like cool ass days of that movie watching experience where you see a whole movie but not in order.
Yeah.
I never seen Howard the Duck in order, man. I always seen like the end. I saw the middle. I see clips of the beginning of how it comes to Earth and shit. I've never seen that shit in order. But I heard about that.
That's me in Short Circuit. I never seen that Short Circuit.
Anything that came
Johnny
out between
5.
Never seen Tango and Cash in order. Anything that used to be on Channel 11, man.
Or Channel 5. I was about to say Fox 5 or Channel
Fox
11.
5, yeah. New York Fox 5, man. Never seen that shit in order.
Never seen Predator 2 in order.
That's on Danny Glover?
Yeah, that's when they go to LA.
Honestly, even now, man, I would, if it was on streaming, I'll tell anybody to watch that shit out of order, man. Predator 1, you got to see that shit in order. Predator 2. Predator 1, I'd never seen it in order probably until like 2000, like in the 2010s or some shit like that. I'm like, yo, this shit is tough.
You watched the new shit? You seen the new shit on Prime?
The one with the Native Americans?
Yeah.
That shit is tough, yeah.
Yeah, I heard that shit was gangster. They real Native Americans and shit like that. Like they went and got the real.
Yeah, well, because we're in this watching section, Native Americans on TV right now, they having a good moment. I hope it lasts, man.
Reservoir Dogs, right? No,
Reservation Dogs. Reservation
Dogs.
There's some other joint, I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically they're on a reservation. It's about like murder detectives and they investigating a murder. I saw some other joint the other day. Man, I can't remember, but a lot of good Native American content on TV.
Yeah, that's how you discovered that Predator shit.
Yeah, because I think it's on Hulu. It was on Hulu.
Or Prime, wasn't it Prime? No, they might be right. You might be right. So it might be Hulu.
And you said Hulu. So yeah, man, that shit is dope, man.
But what are you watching nowadays, my brother?
About what I'm listening to, man. It's old, and the Dipset shit made me think of it. Max, there's a podcast on Max B. Just kind of talking about his conviction. Okay. I liked it because it's super simple, because there's not a lot to it. There's not a lot to it. Max B, he came out of jail, found out while he was in jail, he found out he liked rap, came out, was trying to do his thing, somehow connected with Dipset, wasn't making much money because he probably, don't know nothing about contracts and shit. His girl was flirting with some next dude, and instead of spazzing, he said, "You said the next dude had money?" And his girl,
that's a true Harlem nigga right there.
Yeah, his girl was flirting with the next dude. She's like, "Yeah, I was flirting with the next dude, man. We was hanging out and and he's splurging on me. He splurged some more. I checked him the next week. He was splurging some more." And me, I'd have been like, "What? Oh man, what are we gonna do?" He had a crisis point right now. Max B said, "I'm gonna rob that nigga. Tell me where he at." Got his brother-in-law to rob. Yo, you gotta listen to it, man. I don't remember the name of the podcast, but it's hosted by this new dude named Jinx Jenkins.
Jinx Jenkins. Okay, I gotta check that out, man. Yeah, who's it made by the perspective of like his family, like people that's cool with Max B? Like
it's from the perspective of
French Montana on there at all or not?
He is on there.
Okay.
French Montana is on there. I think it's just like an investigative journalism. Like they don't
it ain't to a side. They don't lean to a side.
Not seemingly. I mean, they could have been harsh on him, but they weren't. But they didn't give him a pass. They're like, yeah, he did that shit, but like, did he really deserve like effectively the life sentence, or kind of asking that question? So it was a little gentle on him, because I think it's like at least Jinx Jenkins, I've heard him before on other podcasts. He's like a hip hop fan, so I could see a case where he's like, he probably depends on hip hop dudes to help create his content. I think he does interviews, he needs relationships and stuff like that.
That makes sense.
However, they give him the pass, like, yeah, you know, he was actually justified to rob this dude, because the dude he robbed and killed, he was actually doing some kind of trafficking ring. They didn't do none of that. I was just like, yo,
they turned him into Robin Hood and shit.
He turned him into Robin Hood. Well, actually, this dude was running a multi-million-dollar scheme where he was doing crypto. Nah, it was nothing like that. It's like, yeah, the dude came in, he got killed. Max B was behind the whole plot, and that's it. Talk about the appeal and all that shit. I found it really fascinating. Like, it would be a terrible movie because the shit would be like a 20-minute movie, but it would be like a short film, because made a plan. The plan there was a botched robbery, convicted, appealed. The appeal was successful. Well, sort of successful, and that's it.
Well, we see. I mean, the story ain't over either, right?
It ain't over. I mean, it's supposed to be released this year.
Yeah, so who knows what he'll bounce back and do? You know what I mean? Shout out to Max B.
He's only had 3 free years as an adult. That's crazy.
That's a crazy stat. You said that to me in the chat. That's crazy.
As an adult, 3 years in fresh air and in freedom. Came out of jail, went right back. Was going to go back for the rest of his life, but a lawyer said, you know, they did some shit, and, you know, they shortened that sentence. So we'll see how that goes for him, man.
To your point, though, I don't take that, like, being able to breathe fresh air and get sunlight when I want to. Like, I don't take that for granted, bro. Like, I'm appreciative every day. I'm free to, as much as life could suck in your world, you out there with the freedom to do what you want to do, and a lot of dudes ain't. You know what I'm saying? So I try to appreciate that.
It's a crazy thought. We're right at about the age that MLK was when he died. You know what I'm saying? Just thinking about, you know, and my accolades ain't no damn MLK accolades. And
I'm slacking.
I doubt I'll reach it, God willing, that I'll make it to old age. So
nah, man. We got 177 episodes, dog. What you mean? We're doing numbers, dog. Come on.
Well, we did surpass MLK as far as podcast episodes. So we got that.
Salute MLK, man. Salute the GOAT. Keith, we up out of here, man. Say goodbye to the people, brother.